A shock CM Punk match is being discussed for WrestleMania 41. A top star has been spotted at WWE HQ ahead of an imminent return, and a major SmackDown change has been confirmed. It's time for the news. An interesting report emerging from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful via Fightful Select about a potential WrestleMania 41 match, which is being heavily discussed within WWE right now. He's reported that a match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns is being talked about heavily. He said that this hadn't been the plan a few weeks ago, but things had been adjusted, and sources said that Punk hoped for the match. What do you make of this?
It just doesn't feel quite like right. It's a weird thing to say because obviously both of them are big stars, but it's one of those things where would it feel a bit shoehorned if he's just thrown straight in there with Roman? There's not really much established story right now.
He's got the favour.
He does have the favour. There was the back and forth with them in the cage and everything, and all that kind of build up around it. But is this the Punk Mania main event?
This to me is it. Is it the main? Right, CM Punk, main event guy for sure. Roman Reigns, surely a main event guy.
3-4 years.
But given the landscape, neither of these men hold a title at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's drama there, and it could be a really, really compelling story. I've got no problem with the story at all. But also, you've got two world champions on the men's side, in Cody Rhodes and Gunther. I would expect Cody to be in one of the main events for sure. You've got potentially The Rock. You've got John Cena doing his retirement deal. Yeah. Is Roman Reigns versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 41 a main event match? I don't know.
Is it even the next one that should be scheduled up for Roman? Surely there's a lot more probably going on there in and around that storyline and situation before Punk. Unless Punk's going to come in when they get the tribal chief title that's potentially coming in. Like, I don't... It feels maybe it's just a bit too much at the junction right now.
I think it's too soon. To me, I really wanted to see either Roman Reigns versus The Rock, or I want to see Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. I would have loved to have seen that. I just think there's a lot of moving parts here, and I'm not sure if they want the main event match, then this is the WrestleMania that you're going to get main event for. WrestlePurist, Ibu of WrestlePurist, following up on that report, saying Roman Reigns versus CM Punk was not the original planned WrestleMania match. As I've said, for 10 days straight, there's a lot of backstage political maneuvering taking place as top guys jockey for WrestleMania spots. CM Punk wants to main event the entire thing. Guys are getting into position. If The Rock wrestles at WrestleMania this year, it will be to face Cody Rhodes. Roman Rock was pretty much never on the table for WrestleMania 41. I mean, if Rock comes back, he's getting the main event spot.
Yeah,
screwing Punk again.
He's just going to walk right into it, isn't he? So
of course he will.
I know we've got 2 nights, but there is so much going on, and it does feel like it might be a waste of that wish, if that wish is to face Roman from Heyman.
Yeah, we will see. Time will tell. A top star has been spotted at WWE HQ ahead of a reported imminent return. According to a report from PW Insider, Charlotte Flair is set to return to WWE very soon. The return is said to be imminent. No specific date noted as of yet. And apparently she's on the cusp of a comeback, recently being spotted at WWE HQ, doing a photo shoot, other logistical work in preparation for that return. Obviously, you've got WWE going to Netflix very, very, very soon. Now, do you put her on the debut episode on Raw?
Yeah, I'd say they're stacking that card up to the point where it's just going to be one long catwalk with legends coming out anyway. Like, there's going to be no stopping the amount of star power that's there. So I think adding Charlotte to it's just going to be more star power for them, innit?
Yeah.
I think it's about time she comes back. I'm a bit apprehensive, as I always am, when Charlotte returns, because it feels like it's just going to be 2 weeks and she's a magnet and she's got all the belts now. But
I think we're past that now. I don't think you have to worry about that so much anymore. I really want to see her versus Tiffany. I'm hoping that Tiffany is a world champion by the time WrestleMania rolls around, and then Charlotte Flair puts over Tiffany Stratton. That's the match that I really want to see personally. I mean, you could wait off and you could have a comeback at the Rumble as well. But if you really want to stack, like they've got big shows.
Rumble would be huge, but that is going to be putting it off till February now. Which I think if the return's imminent, you're looking more like the first episode of Raw, aren't you?
Yeah, quite possibly, unless you just do wait for SmackDown, which, by the way...
Well, that's technically everywhere else in the world. That's the first SmackDown on Netflix. It's just not in America. So that's also going to be probably quite a heavily stacked show as well.
You would think so. And there's plenty of time to fill because it is indeed going at 3 hours. It's been confirmed by WWE that SmackDown is expanding to 3 hours beginning on January 3rd of 2025. They released the following statement.
SmackDown continues to air on USA Network every Friday night at 8, 7 Central in the US. At the start of 2025, SmackDown will expand to 3 hours, starting with the January 3rd episode from Phoenix, Arizona.
We've talked about this quite a lot because reports have been circulating now for like 3 months that SmackDown's going 3 hours.
Yeah.
There's a lot more money in it for them to do an extra hour of TV and not a lot of additional costing for WWE. So it makes sense from a financial standpoint. I'm actually quite open to SmackDown going 3 hours. I mean, I don't have a choice anyways. I think,
it's happening whether you want it to or not, but it was always the more dynamic of the show. So hopefully the added time isn't going to make it feel a bit more trudgy.
I just think that...
But I think SmackDown probably will fare better at 3 hours than Raw, at least for the initial phase.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really hot show at the moment. I mean, all of WWE's programming is really, really hot right now.
Yeah.
And SmackDown, for a long time, has been really, really heavily filled up by Bloodline-related stuff, and that takes like 40 minutes of the show.
It. Like, sometimes just a 40-minute promo, and that's half your show when you take, TV time out of it for ads and stuff. That's literally half the show.
Yeah, so I think people have been left off SmackDown because they want to get as much Bloodline stuff on there as possible. And so this will give more people a chance to get on telly. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Like 2 hours of SmackDown at the moment for me just really flies by.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It just goes.
So an extra hour of SmackDown, you take away the ads, that's what, another 42 minutes or so.
It's just a lovely Christmas gift, Adam.
It's a lovely Christmas gift.
Thank WWE for your lovely Christmas gift.
Thank you, WWE. Enjoy the more money. We finished with some really, really sad news as Rey Mysterio Sr. has passed away. He's the uncle of Rey Mysterio Jr., Rey Mysterio in WWE. He's passed away at the age of 66. This was announced by Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide. The promotion taking to Twitter to share a tribute to the veteran.
So they shared a graphic with the following written tribute. We mourn the sensitive passing of Miguel Angel Lopez Diaz, known as Rey Mysterio Sr. We send our sincere condolences to his loved ones and raise our prayers to heaven for his eternal rest. And then Dominic Mysterio posted a series of photos of Rey Sr. along with a heart on his social media.
This is a guy whose fingerprints are all over the wrestling business. So much of his influence is felt across many, many promotions to this day. Very, very talented in-ring performer.
Talent.
Yeah, for sure. Just a horrible, horrible time for the Mysterio family as well. Last month, Rey Mysterio lost his father. Yeah. So just horrible stuff. And he had like a Rey Mysterio Sr. really, really interesting life, which he experienced various tragedies as well. There was a point where he was scammed by somebody who a doctor who basically gave him like fake stem cell treatment, and that left him having to use a wheelchair. And was unable to continue wrestling in the way that he wanted to wrestle following that. But a guy who's so influential and just horrible, horrible news to finish our video on. Thank you very, very much for watching. Much appreciated. We'll be back with more news in just a few hours. Hope you're feeling all right. Hope you're feeling festive. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you all. We'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.